There are so many misconceptions about real estate terminology and processes, and today we're going to expose the 10 most common myths in real estate. So stay tuned. Hi everyone, it's John and welcome to another episode of Cozy, Charming, Crazy Real Estate, where we talk about everything real estate. Today we're going to talk about the 10 most common myths that you're going to find if you are participating in a real estate transaction of some kind, or perhaps taking part in an argument or gentle discussion regarding real estate sales. So let's start from the top. We're going to work our way backwards. Number 10 on our list of 10. If a room has a closet, it's a bedroom. There are a lot of different myths about what you can call a bedroom. And this comes up a lot when homes are being listed for sale. And the seller might say, well, I have a 3-bedroom home, but then I converted a garage into a bedroom. Maybe I added a bedroom out the back. Well, the proper number of bedrooms is not determined by whether or not the structure meets code for a bedroom. The only thing that really matters is what is permitted for the house. Did you have a permit when you converted that garage into a bedroom? When you put that addition out the back and added a bedroom, sure, the room has a door, it has windows, it has a closet, but does it have a permit? In reality, the only number of bedrooms that a home can have are those that have a valid permit by whichever agency, whether it's city, county, whatever, issues permits in that area, the governing authority. So if there's no permit, it's not a bedroom. Now you can call it anything you want. You can call it a bonus room, etc., etc. You can use the room any way you want. However, if you want to advertise it, to be truthful with your advertising, it's based on the number of permits or permitted bedrooms. Number 9, easements or agreements between property owners that expire when one of the property owners is either no longer alive or moves away. Well, an easement, if you're not familiar with the term, is a legal obligation that a property owner has to allow use of their property by another property owner. And the easiest easement to understand is that if we have a landlocked lot, it's surrounded on all sides by other property owners' property. Well, we can't get to it from the main road leading to town. So what we try to obtain is an easement to travel over our neighbor's property, usually by a defined driveway or a similar path. And we get a document filed with the county recorder's office where the owner of that property and us agree that I have that legal right to travel that driveway. Now, most of those easements, however, they are tied to the land basically until both parties agree to terminate that easement, and one party cannot terminate it without the other's agreement. So before you just say, well, my neighbor moved out, the easement is over, I'm going to shut down that driveway, you do want to probably check with a real estate attorney and make sure you have the right to do so. Number 8, buyers and sellers must split closing costs according to local custom. Well, as a real estate broker who has done uh, real estate sales transactions in multiple counties, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and elsewhere in the North Bay, various different counties, Marin, Solano, I can tell you that the customs are different from county to county. And it may be that in the particular county you are in, or where the property is that you're selling, that the local custom may be that buyers and sellers split closing costs 50-50, or that on certain items the buyer pays for it or the seller pays for it. Well, those are definitely local customs. You go into an escrow office and the escrow officer is likely to tell you, well, these are the customs. However, all fees and expenses are negotiable, so you are not obligated legally, in most cases, to actually follow the local custom. And as a tough negotiator myself, I never do. I always challenge the local customs when doing so is in the best interest of my client. And sometimes you get a lot of pushback on that, but again, it's open to negotiation. Does the other side want a deal, or are they willing to give up something else to gain that? So local customs are not laws and should be open to negotiation. Number 7, real estate broker commissions are set by law, regulation, or local custom. Well, law, regulation, local custom, no. There may be local custom. You may find in some areas that there is a prevailing commission rate, some percentage. However, there are no laws, especially here in California where I live and work. There are no laws, there are no regulations that specify how much commission a real estate broker may obtain from a buyer or seller. So again, it is open to negotiation. In fact, a couple things that most people outside the industry don't know is that even real estate brokers are not allowed to speak with each other regarding how much commission they're charging, because that would be colluding to set a prevailing commission amount, and most government agencies don't want that. So you may again want to check where you are. However, in most states, real estate commissions are not set by law. You do not have to respect local custom, just as we talked about with closing costs. You can negotiate whatever you can get with your broker. There are no set commissions. Number 6, sellers must repair all items identified as needing repair in the property inspection report before escrow can close. That's another one. No, not really true. Now, if I'm the buyer and I want a particular repair done, I can make that repair a contingency. In other words, the seller must perform that repair before I allow escrow to close, or it is a condition of closing escrow. However, unless the law says that something must be repaired, and I'll give you a good example, is a sewer line that's running from a house onto a public sewer line. Most of the time, the local housing office or building code enforcement office, whether it's a city or a county, they're going to want to see the report of the inspection of that sewer line, and before that transaction closes, they want to know that that line is actually functional and working. So that is one case where you have to have a repair. Another might be for the lender. Some lenders say, well, I want to see a clean report that has no infestation by wood-eating pests. In other words, a clean termite report. Or if the initial report showed infestation, they want to see a certificate from a licensed company that says, hey, we went in and we treated the termite infested areas, and we have made repairs to what the termites have damaged, and therefore it is now free of termite damage. That might be a requirement to close, but that would probably come from the mortgage lender. Number 5, lawn and garden tools, hoses, and other items that are present when the buyer conducts their last inspection before escrow closes, also called a final walkthrough, are included in the sale. That's not true either. In order for a personal item, and that's an item that is not, that you might hear the word appurtenant, but if it's not screwed down and part of the structure, that item, such as garden tools and hoses and so forth, up until the day you leave, those items belong to the seller, and they certainly have the right to take everything unless there is an inventory of personal items that are included in the sale. Then they are bound to leave those behind. Otherwise, it is considered normal that when a seller vacates, they take everything that is not screwed down. Number 4, all homes listed for sale by agents must be published in the MLS. Well, this is definitely not true. Publication in the local multiple listing service is usually a requirement of the local realtor organization, and we're going to talk about realtors in a second. But normally, if you're a realtor, big R, and you are a member of a local realtor association, they work very closely with the local multiple listing service, and they respect the two organizations respect each other's rules. And normally, yes, it is a requirement that an agent, when they list the property, they do put it on the multiple listing service. However, the seller always has the right to not list their property on the multiple listing service. And in most cases now, just about everywhere, they are required to sign a document certifying, yes, I have told my agent not to list this on the multiple listing service. And if they do that, then there is usually a process through the multiple listing service, through the local realtor association, where the agent can document that direction from the seller. Number 3, verbal agreements and handshakes are legally binding in real estate sales. Well, that's going to depend on where you are from. Since this cozy, charming, crazy real estate is seen all across the country and in some other countries, I can tell you that here in California, again, where I live and work, we have something called the Statute of Frauds, which is probably pretty non-descriptive, but what the Statute of Frauds says very simply is that all real estate sales transactions must be in writing. And if you want something added to the sales contract, you have to get it in writing. They handshake, even though between two people, they can certainly agree and they can shake hands on it. However, if they don't write it down and one of them decides to pull out, they might have an ethical issue with the other party, but certainly they do not have a legal issue unless they get that agreement in writing. So this is very common across the United States. Again, I check where you are. If you're here in California, all terms of a real estate sale in California must be in writing. Number 2, final mortgage approval is final. No. Final mortgage approval, they may call it final. However, you can unfinal it. You can get it canceled all the way up into the day that you actually close escrow. And if you're working with a mortgage lender, they should be telling you as soon as you apply, you should start going by a sheet of rules that they should give you that say 10 to 15, sometimes 20 good hints on what you should no longer do now that you are in the mortgage application process. And the first thing is, of course, do not go out and accrue any additional debt. Do not miss any payments on any debt you do have. All that can affect your credit score. Plus, any late payments and any missed payments of a certain type can also hurt you regardless of what your credit score is. Then now, as I mentioned, it is really not final until the day escrow closes. A lot of people don't know this, even though as a former mortgage broker myself, we used to tell people, beware, on escrow closing day, the lender does call to confirm, number one, that your employment is still there. One of the things on our list: do not quit your job. Maintain the same income and position that you had when you applied for a mortgage. You need to have that same income and job on the day that escrow closes. So don't quit your job. Do not incur any additional debt. Anything that changes can cause the mortgage company to cancel that mortgage or require you to reapply starting at square one on escrow closing day. So even though you may get a document maybe a week into escrow that says, yeah, you have that mortgage, it's final. It's not totally final until funding is released and the deed is recorded. Okay, and now we're down to number one, which is probably one of my favorites. Number one, realtor and realtor are the same thing. And as I'm showing here, realtor and realtor are kind of like aspirin or Kleenex. Now, you may be buying a tissue that's not made by Kleenex. It's not technically the trademark Kleenex. And you may not be buying an aspirin from the guys who own the trademark on the word aspirin, but realtor and realtor are kind of the same thing. Now, here's where they're different. A realtor, all capital letters with the circle R registered trademark, is a trademark of the National Association of Realtors. And they have been protecting that trademark since 1915. And they have done it within the last 20 years. Successfully in court. They have defended the use of that word because it was not a word until they came up with it. However, over time, it has become a slang word for all real estate agents. Real estate agents such as myself, however, as a realtor, big R, a member of the National Association of Realtors, which is what a realtor is. I would never misuse that mark. I will never use small lowercase letters in the word realtor. I always use the all uppercase with the circle R because I am a member of the association. And being a member of the association, the biggest difference between being a member of the association and not being is that members of the National Association of Realtors take a pledge to abide by the code of ethics that has been modified and modernized many times over the years. And it basically is a set of rules to make sure that real estate agents act fairly, that they dedicate themselves to following not only ethics, but also the word of the law, and that they treat their clients and fellow real estate professionals with proper respect. Now, you don't have to be a member of the National Association of Realtors to practice real estate. Again, in California, where I am, anyone who meets all the requirements can obtain either a sales license or a broker license. And if you get a broker license, an individual may practice real estate all day long without being a member of the National Association of Realtors. However, they may not call themselves a realtor according to the word of the law because the law, the big or the capital realtor circle R registered trademark is reserved only for the use of members of the National Association of Realtors. When you ask or when you're thinking about hiring a broker or an agent to work for you, I recommend that you always hire a realtor because they do commit to following a stringent rule of ethics. And they also do a lot of training. The Department of Real Estate in California, I know, I'm sure in other states, does require continuing education for license holders. The National Association of Realtors also offers continuing education, though the more of the requirements have to do with ethics and things like that, but they do offer additional courses. Anyway, so those are the top 10 biggest myths in real estate. If you have any questions, please make a comment below. If you like the video, please like it. If you want to, please subscribe. We'd love to have you back next week when we talk about more cozy, charming, crazy real estate. Until then, please subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notice when you do, and we will see you next time. Stay healthy, stay well, take care.